Hey guys, Black Russ here. You are watching this on New Year's Day. If I calculated everything correctly, this would be released on January 1st. So in other words, anything is possible now. The first day of a new age, a new decade, a new year for that matter. So we're going to be excited to see what's going to be coming out in the future. But that means it's not too late to go ahead and prepare for a wish list for 2020. In other words, 2020, you better be listening as to what I want to see within the first year of this decade. So this is more or less a wish list type thing. I don't expect everything to actually happen according to what I want, but this would be something that would be interesting if that ends up being the case. So this is more or less, again, a wish list of what I would like to see in the year 2020. So let's get started. Let's get started and see what all could and what might happen in 2020. The first on my list is the PlayStation 5. Now, obviously the PlayStation 5 is going to be released holiday of 2020, more or less probably right around Thanksgiving to Christmas, somewhere within that region, I have no doubt in my mind. But there has been rumors spreading like wildfire in regards to the PlayStation 5, one of which is its backwards compatibility. Now, originally, I thought, yeah, it makes sense for it to be backwards compatible to the PS4, because hardware-wise, it would not be that major difference. If nothing else, there's like small detailing differences between the PS4 and the PS5, because the PS5 is going to be running on a higher platform, much like that of a PC run system, rather than its own system built entirely. So in other words, it's going to be running on a higher tier build than the PS4. But there are some people that have created the rumor that it is backwards compatible to all of PlayStation games, such as the PS1, the PS2, and the PS3 as well. If you also remember, the last known backwards compatible system we had for those games was back for the PlayStation 3. Within the first models, you could play PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games alike on the system. But after that first initial year, when they released a newer model of PlayStation 3 with more hard drive space, they revealed that technically it would not be backwards compatible to the PlayStation 1 or 2. And this is where this whole transition of them reselling the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 on digital platforming, this is kind of where the digital age kind of started. And I thought it was weird of how they got rid of the backwards compatibility on the PlayStation 3. It didn't make sense to me at the time. So I was still wondering why they didn't. And then when the PlayStation 4 came out, it was stated that the system was going to be completely built from where the PlayStation 3 was built for, and so backwards compatibility for the PS4 would be feasibly impossible due to hardware limitations and stuff, or hardware restrictions, should I say. So in other words, PlayStation 3 backwards compatibility for the PS4 was completely out of the question. There was no way. And at the time, I think the company thought that there was really no reason to have backwards compatibility. It's like, why would you want backwards compatibility? There's no real reason to have it. Whereas these past few years, we've seen companies build like third-party systems, and there's been technically a rumor of where there was supposed to be a disc build system that would run disc-based games. We had cartridge-based games that could run cartridge, like the NES, the SNES, the N64, so on and so forth, but there wasn't a successful disc-built one. And so there was rumored for a while that they were building a disc-build system. I don't know if it's been successfully launched yet, but it's been rumored for quite some time. But there's been rumors saying that Sony is considering making the PS5 fully backwards compatible to all PlayStation platforms. And if this ends up being the case, that would be extremely awesome to hear. In fact, I will eat my words when I say this, but if for some reason the PlayStation 5 is in fact fully backwards compatible for PS1, 2, 3, 4, and its own 5, being fully backwards compatible plays any PlayStation game system you're wanting to play. If it's fully backwards compatible, I will buy the system year one. In other words, where I normally wait about 2 years before the system to where it has a buildup of lineup of games and stuff, I will actually attempt to buy the system year 1. If it's fully backwards compatible, that is. So Sony, you might want to listen. You have my word, you have my wallet. Make it fully backwards compatible. Okay, guys? We're waiting here! So there is a list of games that have been announced but have not fully been released per se, and we really have no idea about an actual release date per se. These 2 games are obviously like that of Biomutant and Lost Souls aside. These games have been in development for a couple of years now, and really we have no clue and idea as to when they're supposed to come out, but these 2 games are actually my most hyped game to look forward to. And I hope that 2020 will be the year that we either hear more details in regards to Biomutant, Lost Souls aside, and hopefully maybe the release date being in 2020. I highly doubt that for Lost Souls aside, but if I can get both Biomutant and Lost Souls aside in 2020, I'd be happy. I'd be extremely happy and satisfied to see both of them being released in 2020. So that would be really awesome if that could happen per se. Now, of course, we want to go ahead and kind of talk about an interesting thing, being that of the Nintendo Switch. Now, there are 2 games that I would love to see being released on the Nintendo Switch. One of them had not been released on said Nintendo console, and one of which should be on the Switch. Obviously, it should have been. If not, I'm surprised it had been. So, the first one is that of Pikmin 1, 2, and 3 HD Collection. Now, a lot of people want this to happen. A lot of people want it on the Switch. And really, Pikmin 3 is like one of the very few last Wii U titles that was released on the system, but that have yet to have been ported for the Switch. And so a lot of people thought that Pikmin 3 would be one of the next one that they will put and port for the Switch. And if so, we might see 1 and 2 hopefully on the Nintendo Switch. But the fact that they haven't done that yet is kind of shocking to me, it truly is. I don't know what's going on with that realm of thinking and stuff, but I would really want to hear the phrase that, hey, the Pikmin series, all of it's going to be available for the Switch. I want to hear that. I want to see a trailer where little Pikmins are walking and they're lifting like either a Joy-Con or the entire system itself. I want to see that. I want to see that trailer and say, Pikmin 1, 2, and 3 will be available for the Switch. And the other one is that of No More Heroes 1 and 2 being ported for the Switch as well. Now, technically speaking, the last known port we had of No More Heroes was No More Heroes for the PlayStation 3. And I played that one, and that was really awesome. I have yet to have played the second one for the Wii, but I would really like to see if No More Heroes 1 and 2 was ported for Nintendo Switch, and just in time before No More Heroes 3 got released. I want to hear that. I want to see that happen. I want that to be the case. That'd be fun just to have No More Heroes 1, 2, and 3 on the Nintendo Switch. That'd be perfect for me. And then the last game that I want to see on the Nintendo Switch is obviously the Kingdom Hearts series. There's been people kind of going back and forth, but Nomura has stated in the past of how he would be interested in the ideal, but for the time being he wanted to concentrate on Kingdom Hearts 3's development and get it out as soon as possible, and then he will concentrate on other projects as well. One of which was, of course, Kingdom Hearts story so far on the Xbox system. For the longest time it was teased of how, surprising that the Microsoft fan base doesn't have all of the Kingdom Hearts games. They're just getting Kingdom Hearts 3. Well, now after Kingdom Hearts 3's official release and everything, now they're getting the story so far of Kingdom Hearts put on the Xbox system. So it's about time they're finally getting what they want as well. So I'm happy for them. But I would love to see them put Kingdom Hearts into Nintendo Switch hardware as well. Just for me to be able to play Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 on the Nintendo Switch, that would be awesome for me personally myself. But again, we'll have to wait and see. I imagine something like that probably won't be coming out until like 2021, if it does happen. but I would love to see it come out for the Switch. I truly do. You know, not a lot of people talk about Final Fantasy VI. You know, it's like, before I play Final Fantasy VI, I heard people talking about it all the time, but not many people talk about Final Fantasy VI these days. Mostly because we've been getting remasters and remakes of these games that we have loved in the past and stuff. And recently, other than Final Fantasy VII Remake, the last known remaster we've gotten was Final Fantasy VIII. Was like practically the last of the PlayStation 1 Final Fantasy game that's got remastered. You know, we had Final Fantasy VII, we had Final Fantasy IX, we had 10, 10-2, 12, and there's been rumored about Final Fantasy 13 being remastered for current hardware as well. As to when that's going to happen, I don't know. It's been quiet for a while. But I would love to see Final Fantasy VI somewhat get the remake treatment as well. If not the remake, at least get remastered for current hardware. I know I would personally download it for both the Nintendo Switch and the PS4 myself, but only if they do it. You know, in fact, I think the last known hardware they got ported for was that of the PlayStation 3 at the time, digitally per se. I may be wrong, but I think that was like the last system that they were ported for. But I would love to see it being ported for current hardware right now. That'd be awesome. Now, we hadn't really heard much details, but technically there was a rumor going around where the original director for Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne was actually wanting to see a remake for Nocturne. Now, that's actually interesting on its own, and personally, I don't know how well that would work. But if they are still wanting to consider a remake for Nocturne, I wouldn't mind. You know, I really wouldn't mind. That is actually one of my favorite games that came out for the PlayStation 2 that I've played in these last few years. And so, to see Nocturne being remake, I actually wouldn't mind that. That would be pretty cool to see actually come out, you know. Whether or not if they're going to do it or not, I don't know. But I think that's a high interest in the Shin Megami Tensei series, is to see Nocturne being remake, of course. And the last thing that's on my list of games that I would love to see, or wish list of things that I would love to see come out for 2020, or at least want to see, would be that of Medieval 2 Remake. Now, Medieval 1, in my personal opinion, is a successful remake. It did really well. The gameplay has been improved. The camera has been improved. Everything was just a major improvement entirely. And so Medieval did really, really well. It met with my expectations, and I got to fully experience Medieval, and it was really fun. I got to enjoy Medieval the best way possible. And so it would do great to hear that the same team was actually considering wanting to do a remake for Medieval 2. I would love to actually hear that come out, because once you think about it, Medieval 1 had only been remade twice now, technically. It was remade for the PSP years ago, and then it got remake again on the PlayStation 4. So I would love to hear them actually say the phrase that Medieval 2, the original Medieval 2 that came out for the PlayStation 1, is going to be remastered for the PS4 or PS5, depending on how they want to go about it. But, you know, so it would be awesome to just get that same trailer treatment, you know, during E3 or something like that, where it's like, you saw Sir Daniel once before, now see him rise again. And it's Medieval 2. That'd be awesome. I would love to see that announcement, you know, to see Medieval 2 be released, remake for the PlayStation 4. I want that. I want that really badly. So that's it. That's basically all of my wish list for 2020 that I would love to see. Whether or not I'm going to get that, you know, it's highly debatable. But I would love to see the majority of the stuff that I've asked for come out for 2020. Or at least hear the stuff, you know what I mean? It'd be awesome for me personally myself, but who's to say? We'll find out once that happens. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video, and to look forward to the new year. So thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Catch you guys later.